Goliath, as I like to call it back then.
어.
No. Joining the Goliath meant immortality. All I had to do was sleep and awaken once more when the cycle started again and new life came forth. Except that this new life would not have been defenseless. I would have been a true god to them, one capable of protecting them from the High Ones. No imaginary figure like the Creator, no false gods like the Lightborn were, to speak in your language. As the only one of my people, yes. But it happened faster than it should have. And when the cleansing occurred, the Goliath was not yet finished. And as the Emperor
황제가 그것조차도 계획이었네. 황제가 빛을 방출한 것조차도.
A fatal error, as it turned out. I did survive, yes. But I am trapped inside this.
황제가 그 짓거리를 하는 것도 그 계획의 일부였네.
All I can do is watch again and again. Yes, it was not how I planned it. The Goliath in its final form was meant to be divine, a synthesis of man and steel. But I overestimated myself, and I acted too quickly, driven by fear. Yes, but a part of the Goliath is the eye. It allows me to see what happens on the surface everywhere. Not as literal as you imagine, of course. I see schemes, feel emotions, similar to your gift, to the Echo. But they are enough to understand.
뭐 어쩌자는 거야?
Yes, it was not how I planned it. The Goliath in its final form was yes.
왜 두 번씩 말하는 거야, 미친놈아?
Is the eye.
아, 미치겠네 게임.
What happens on the surface everywhere. Not as literal as you imagine, of course. I see schemes.
모든 대화를 두 번씩 해야 되네.
Similar to your gift, to the Echo. But they are enough to understand.
어쩌라고? 왜 계속 말해?
It was not how I planned it. The Goliath in its final form was meant to be divine, a synthesis of man and steel.
도루마무인가?
I overestimated myself, and I acted too quickly, driven by fear.
아, 이거 세 번째 말하는 것 같은데?
But a part of the Goliath is the eye. It allows me to see what happens on the surface everywhere. Not as literal as you imagine, of course. I see schemes, feel emotions, similar to your gift, to the Echo. But they are enough to understand. Yes, it was not how I planned it.
그만. 아이씨 미친 게임아. 아, 처음부터 다시 봐야 되네. 아, 좆같은. 어쩌라는 거야? 저거 캔슬도 안 됐는데 대여가. 야, 일어나.
Be gone, Phantom. Be gone.
아, 나 대화 종료가 안 되네 또.
Then this isn't a dream.
대화가 스킵이 안 돼.
Are here. But why? The prophet dies when the emperor leaves him.
씨발.
This is the course of the game.
괴로워.
It has always been so. Explain yourself. How did you find this place?
아, 이 새끼 말 또 더럽게 천천히 한다니까? 그 파스낙스인가 뭔가 하는 새끼처럼 천천히 말해. 씨발 존나 괴롭네.
She does not have a mind. She does not have feelings. So why should she do this?
아, 말 존나 천천히 말이라도 빨리 하든가.
Still you speak the truth. I can feel it. Then could it really be that the unlikeliest of all eventualities has become reality and brought you here?
아, 이거 하자.
I am sorry. It's been too long since I have spoken to anyone. I have had many names. The Akarians called me the God of Death, the Moonskin people, the Warden of Dreams, the Pyreans, the Demon of the Deep. For your people I am, or was, the Black Guardian. Pompous names, I know. However, I am none of these, neither god nor demon. I am only an eye, condemned to observe again and again. As you measure time, older than your most daring chronicles go back, by far. I have seen them all, since our people fell. Every civilization, every cleansing, every turn of the cycle. But, no. The Starlings came long after me. I was only a fool who wanted to save his own skin at any cost. I knew the cleansing would come. I had known it long before the Red Madness and the war started. But I also knew that fighting it as my people did, and as most do, was pointless. So I looked for another way to prevail. And I found it. What you see here is the result. The Goliath, as I like to call it back then. As the only one of my people, yes. But it happened faster than it should.
아래 선택지가 하나 더 있었네, 씨발.
When the cleansing occurred, the Goliath was not yet finished.
근데 이거 아까 봤었잖아.
As the Emperor unleashed the light, I had no choice but to complete the joining too early. A fatal error, as it turned out. I did survive, yes. But I am trapped inside this unfinished machine. And ever since then, all I can do is watch. Again and again. No, you do not understand. You are stumbling through the fog, even now that it is almost over. By themselves, the High Ones are not the problem. If we would just see them as they really are, they would become powerless. Yes, it is hard to put into words.
드디어 이
I
끔찍한 저주에서.
myself do not know everything about the High Ones. Only that they are part of something we call the cycle.
소리 더럽게 커.
Civilization arises and blossoms, and then, always at the same stage of their development, the High Ones appear, and with them, the Red Madness. People start losing their minds, wars erupt, and chaos rules. Until 2 or 3 years later, the cleansing happens. The moment when the High Ones devour the collective consciousness, the gathered minds of this civilization, to give birth to a new one of their own. Despite all of this, nobody knows what drives them. Perhaps they act out of malice, out of an urge to survive, or perhaps they do not even have a will of their own, but are like a force of nature. But I do know one thing, as powerful as they might be, it is mankind who gives them that power. We make them into what they are, because what nobody understands is simply this. The High Ones feed on what humanity has the most of. Their ego, greed, pride, fear, and their everlasting search for an enemy who is responsible for all their misery. It is those traits the High Ones make use of. These characteristics are what make us human. And by themselves, they are harmless. Only when we bury them, when we deny them, then they play into the High One's hands. So why is this, you ask? It is simple. The High Ones alone cannot make the cleansing happen. Only a human can. With the beacon. My knowledge about it is as limited as my knowledge about the cycle. It has existed since the beginning of time. And despite what you might now believe, the ancient writings about it are true. Lit by the ones who carry the Numenos, it can banish the High Ones once and for all. But it can also destroy us. Because what happens when it is lit without a core is far more than an explosion. It is the cleansing, the triumph of the High Ones. And even as we speak, a human, Teodor Orinthiol, has done it again. A bright light will appear from the heart of the machine and open a hole in the sky. And within hours, it will spread throughout the world, and they will all feel it. A fire that burns them from within. A white light which will break through their flesh. Do you understand now? The High Ones have no power. All they do is to feed on our weaknesses, manipulate us into bringing about our own destruction. It is we who forge the sword that kills us, we who lead them to their victory. Even though the key to salvation has always been in our hands. But instead of realizing our folly, we make the same mistake. We repeat the same fate over and over. And only because we refuse to see the truth. Yes, the High Ones are our enemy. But who wants to hear that it is our ego, that dark voice within us, that empowers them? It is so ironic. The moment we would realize all this would be the moment it all came to an end. But we do not.
그니까 제가 하는 게 정화의식이네. 갖고 막아야겠는데? 말 다 했어?
They reap, we sow. Dreams, thoughts, visions, they are everywhere. But the principle is always the same. They throw a tainted seed into a fertile ground. The rest happens by itself. Like 1,000 others before him, the High Ones knew exactly what they had to do to get him to commit this last act of desperation. They played him with his weaknesses and fears. like a figure on a chessboard. And the saddest part is that until the very end, he will believe that he has done something good. That was his greatest fear, yes, to be remembered as a failure, a broken man. That was the stream the High Ones manipulated him from the moment he died, after attempting to flee from his prison on Nehrim. The real Arinthial
아, 죽었어.
is dead, prophetess. He is a fleshless one of the mightiest tools of the High Ones, just as you are.
아, 그래서 거기 아래에 내 시체가 있었던 거구나.
The methods of how the High Ones influence us are plentiful, and the red madness and their ability to enter our dreams are not their only means. Their mightiest tool is the creation of projections, fleshless ones, or emissaries, as they are also called. If a person dies, and if this person has one last unfulfilled wish, a compulsion, then the High Ones have the power to create a projection of him, an immaterial image of the deceased, which thinks itself real and is perceived as such. What no one notices, not even the projection itself, are two things. Firstly, it is driven by this last unfulfilled desire.
존나 얘 설명충이네 근데.
It becomes an idealized
요난
version
가짜
of
요나였고
itself,
진짜 요난 죽은
almost
거였고.
tailor-made to free itself from the last compulsion.
존나 설명충이야. 존나 떡밥을 여기서 다 풀어.
Broken generals become charismatic and driven leaders who seem almost too determined to be real. You are one of these projections, as are all of the emissaries. You are a fleshless one, a spirit searching for liberation from something. I do not know your past before you came to this land, because before you became the prophetess, you were insignificant. But what happened to you and your friend on that ship? You never survived it. You drowned in the Red Sea, and in that very moment, the High Ones entered your mind and made you into what you are today. And other than myself, the High Ones knew your compulsion, knew the desire that drove you. Whatever it was, it made you predictable, and it allowed them to play you, just as they played Arinthial and Korak.
이런시알은 그러면 전작에도 나오겠네?
Every dream the High Ones sent you, every time they appeared to you, they all had but a single purpose: to feed your self-image, to push you in a certain direction. They wanted you to play the game for their purposes, and they succeeded. You read the echo of the future, as other prophets did before you. You helped
안 나와. 아, 그래요. 이름은 나오겠지. 그래도. 아, 그래.
saw that it would be taken away from him at the very last instant, his fear of failure led him into doing what he did.
뭐 언급도 안 됐나?
You are
그러면?
not to blame, prophetess. You did what countless others did before you. And you did it because you thought it was the right
와,
thing.
말 존나 많네 진짜.
Only one thing is different.
아, 주연으로 나와요, 걔가. 아, 그래. 라이트본을 죽이는 그 역할로 나와. 라이트본이 엄마였잖아, 근데.
To dissolve like the rest of mankind. Yet here you stand, and I tell you,
아, 그래.
this was never meant to happen.
아, 말 존나 많네, 이 새끼.
Oh, stop it. No, it is too late for that. By the name of the sun, it is so ironic that the veiled woman did not lead you here earlier.
안 할 것 같은데
It
전작은?
is over, prophetess.
전작하려면 그 전작을 사야 되잖아. 모로윈든가 그거 사야
Regardless of
되잖아.
how long your power can protect you from the light of the cleansing,
맞나?
eventually you will dissolve too. Even if... Wait. No. Maybe...
아 오블리비언 그거 사야 되잖아.
Maybe you are right. Maybe there is a way. But... No. It would be pointless. Forgive me, I have to think. Yes, there could be a way. What I told you is true. Here on Earth, you would not survive the cleansing. But there is one place where you could.
벼르 도시.
The Star City. I know that you brought something back from your journey there. The escape pods. And I know that they can also take you back there, for I have seen the Yalam Rashe, the ancient starlings, do so. Whatever has protected the city over all these millennia, it would protect you too. Yes, you could survive it. By the face of time, you could.
달아나는 것은
No, it would not. But that is irrelevant. You are fleshless, a projection. And just like me, time cannot touch you. Age cannot kill you. And thus you could succeed where I have failed. You could wait for the cleansing to be over. And then create a new humanity.
새로운 인류. 아 그거 다음 인류한테 그거 하는 거구나.
It is only a matter of time until the new
개꿀이네.
turn of the cycle starts. New life will come forth. First, simple life, then human. And just like the civilizations before them, they will also fall victim to the High Ones because they will have the same weaknesses as we do. But not with your help. You could be a god to them. You could guide their ascent. You could shape a mankind free of egos and weaknesses. And by doing so, you would deprive the High Ones of their power. Just imagine, in this new world, there would be no need for a beacon, because the High Ones simply would not have any strings to pull on. Mankind will defeat them by becoming superior.
자아가 없어 얘가? 당신이 옳은 것 같습니다.
It means a lot to me to hear you say that. What is important now is that we act quickly. The cleansing is already happening, and you will not have much time left to flee. You must go through the portal and then back to the temple. Then you have to activate the pods, and the rest will happen automatically. When all this is over, I will try to reach out to you.
좋습니다. 칼리안 정말 죽었어?
She is. I'm sorry, but this is
아,
not the
죽었어?
reason why you have to do the right thing. Please, make her death matter.
연애할 팔자는 아니구만.
Yes, and hurry. You will feel the light as soon as you are back on the surface. And given time, it will consume you. But you will succeed. I feel it. There is one more thing I need to ask of you, however. One final request. I want you to shut me down.
무슨 노인 말하는 거야? 난 노인이 뭔지 모르겠는데. 정지?
Yes. I want to finally rest. Please do not try to convince me to do otherwise. All that I do not want to be a part of it any longer. I have not wanted to for a long,
노인 나 그거 돌려봐야겠네.
Please, do it.
Do it.
The switch is in front of you.
아까 눌렀잖아.
That was how I connected myself to the Goliath. It will come.
아까 여기 오자마자 눌렀던 게 이건데.
Do it.
여기 오자마자 눌렀던 게 이건데.
Go. Go and fulfill your fate.
뿅.
Thank you.
뭐 이러고 이제 이동하는 거야?
Forgive me. The two of us
뭐야?
now exchange places. I am sorry for the deception.
아 이제 내가 기계 묶이는 거야?
If there were another way, I would not do this. Even though you made the right choice, you are too naive to become a true.
아 씨발 새끼.
What do you know? What have you seen?
이거 빠져나가래 이거네.
You are but a toddler in the face of time. I, however, know mankind better than anyone else, and I deserve it.
아
Once this is all over, I will send someone to
통수 좀 치네.
Goliath. But until then,
야 이거 어떻게 빠져나가? 야 뭐야? 칼리야 칼리야다 칼리야. 역시 너일 줄 알았어. 야 어디가 너? 대화해야지 나.
By the name of the sun, are you alright? I was so worried.
화살 한 방에 죽는다고 저게?
miserable fool! I would have kept my word. But if you want to play games, fine. I have had enough time to practice.
우르바야 우르바야. 아 씨발. 칼리야 칼리야님 살려주세요. 얘 약하네.
But this place is mine, and I will take what I deserve.
씨발. 얘 약한데? 족밥인데? 얘도 약해. 약한 새끼들이야. 씨발. 나와라 우르바야. 뭐해 죽은 거야 나? 뭐해 죽은 거야 나? 뭐해 죽었지도. 씨발 잘못했어. 나대지 말까? 약하긴 해 근데 얘네들.
Get away from its face.
아이고. 근데 나도 약해. 뭐 해야 돼?
The shields are down. The generators now.
발전기를 공격해 지금이야. 얍. 깨져라. 보호막 내구도 몇 퍼센트 남았습니다. 됐나?
What are you doing? You'll get yourself killed. We need to deal with these things first. Oh, damn it, not again. Don't let that glowing thing reach you.
잠깐만. 포션 표준. 얘 터진다. 터진 새끼다. 뭐야, 뭐 하는 거야, 너? 씨발. 나 이거 고치는 줄 알았네. 터진 새끼였네, 진짜. 정말 터진 새끼였고. 허이.
it all away. For who
떨어져 떨어져.
this wins?
빛나는 새끼다 빛나는 새끼. 씨발 씨발. 얘를 멀리서.
Now, attack the generators.
기다려봐 얘들아.
You damn fool! We could have built a better world together. But you've thrown it all away.
In the name of the
For
sun,
who,
get away
Prophet?
from the glowing
What
creature.
this wins?
모르겠다. 이제 빛나는 생명체가 터진다. 잠깐만 기다려봐. 씨발. 씨발. 얘가 나한테 달라붙네. 쟤가 나한테 달라붙어.
That doesn't look good.
But this place is mine. And I will take what I deserve.
씨발. 저런 패턴도 있었어? 영악한 새끼.
You are not fit to become.
Get away from the glowing creature.
What have you seen? What have you achieved?
나 떨어지라며. 떨어지려면서요 칼리아 씨. 떨어지면 죽여야 될 거 아니야. 떨어지고 나서 죽여야 될 거 아니야. 죽는다.
What have you seen? What have you achieved? I deserve this.
너무 빡센데 이거? 숨어있어야겠다 형. 숨어있자. 도망가. 도망가.
You damn fool! We could have built a better world together. But you've thrown it all
내가
away.
때리고 있어야겠다.
For whom, prophetess? What this wins?
이거 때린 거 아니야? 피났는데? 이거 때린 거 피달아. 씨발. 씨발. 살려주세요. 씨발. 야. 나와. 나와 개새끼야. 안돼 칼리야 이거 죽이지 마. 지금인가? 됐다. 저 딜이 존나 세네. 뒤져. 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 씨발 개새끼야. 잠깐만. 얘 먹고.
Damn it, not again. Don't let that glowing thing reach you.
저 새끼 또 오네. 도망쳐. 이 새끼 너무 빨라요. 이속이. 불러와.
Get away from its face now.
개새끼야. 다 됐나?
Away from the machine now.
머신 넣을게. 오 잠깐만. 걔네게 뒤질라고.
You'll get yourself killed. We need to deal with these things first.
오 씨발. 아.
Oh damn it, not again. Don't let that glowing thing reach you.
아, 나 이 새끼 좀 떨어뜨려봐, 얘들아. 이쪽으로 와야 돼, 이쪽으로. 그리고 여기 넘어가서 오케이. 공략을 알아버렸다고. 이제 얘들 다 죽이면 되죠?
The shields are down. The generators now.
아, 나 이거 바쁘네, 바빠 아주. 얼마나 때려야 돼 이거를. 아이고. 죽여! 싸워! 우르바야! 우르바야 하나 더 소환해야겠다.
Away from the machine. Now.
오 씨발! 잡아! 아, 여기서 포션 다 먹게 생겼네. 하. 이거 너무 아픈데? 근데? 전기? 역시 오래 살아서 그런지 몰라도 패턴이 다양하네, 친구. 뒤져라. 씨발!
Oh damn it, not again.
죽어.
Let that glowing thing reach you.
오지마. 나한테 오지마. 나한테 오지마. 나한테 오지마. 나한테 오지마, 이 개새끼야. 그래, 이제 무찔러. 네, 저 새끼부터 죽입시다. 저 자폭하는 게 극혐이네. 데미지가 너무 세서. 이 개새끼야! 자, 일단 우르바야부터. 우르바야부터 소환하고.
That doesn't look good.
나 씨발. 개새끼들. 그 자폭 패턴 나오기 전에 씨발 자폭 패턴. 자폭 자폭 개같은 자폭. 됐다 간다. 터진다. 터졌어. 야, 하나 터진 거야 이제? 이제 하나 터진 거야? 씨발 이거 아파. 씨발 이거 때리면 내 피나네. 두 개를 터뜨려야 되네. 오케이.
Oh, damn it, not again. Don't let that glowing thing reach you.
오 씨발. 죽여 쟤. 나 꼈다. 네, 죽여요. 오케이. 이거 몇 개를 깨야 돼 근데 이걸.